Hello everybody, welcome back once again to the Tactics Ogre Reborn walkthrough. Making my way through Chapter 3 Chaos, and we're just getting ready to do the Phidoch Great Hall. Now, I'm going to talk about a couple of drops potentially here really quick. So we're going to be fighting Ozma and Oz, and they both drop the alluring equipment. So Ozma drops the... Actually, let's go through Oz's drops first. Ozma drops the alluring corset, unfortunately only 4% of the time. So not likely to get it, and I actually don't really think it's worth getting that to drop either. And similarly, his alluring boots, same thing. I really don't think that, like, if you're gonna try to get any of this equipment, I don't think it's worth it to get the stuff from Oz. The stuff from Ozma is better. So, you know, the alluring boots here, you can see the classes. It's really, you know, more physical oriented classes that can use these, whereas the alluring high boots are actually, I mean, a lot of the same classes, but also a lot more of the, like, casters, or I feel like at least these are more caster oriented. And you can see here the stats. 15 luck, and then, you know, 2 vitality, but 5 mind, 5 intelligence, 3 mind. Again, very much more oriented towards casting, and it goes for the alluring dress as well, if I can find it here. There it is. So the dress, you know, again, same thing here, more oriented towards casting, 6 dexterity, 7 intelligence, and 5 mind. And then the 15 luck. I really like these because of the luck. I don't, I mean, it's not that I don't care about the caster stats, that's for sure, but I do think that the luck is really, really good. And I mean, at this point in the game, there really isn't, you know, what are you even really choosing from, right? It's going to be like Sork robes and stuff. So, I really like those pieces of equipment. It's just the drop rates are so low here that I don't know that it's really worth trying to get them. 4% on all of this stuff, right? So Ozma can drop the alluring dress or the alluring high boots or both, but each piece only 4%. So again, very, very unlikely that you're going to get a hold of these things. It's essentially just cursed weapon drop rates, right? And it's pretty abysmal. So I actually don't think I'm going to do that. Normally I would, just to get it on kind of camera, but it makes so much more sense to just get these from Palace of the Dead. Palace of the Dead, all of this stuff will drop there, you know, obviously at various different levels. You know, you could make the case that you could get a very slight boost by getting one of these items to drop right now, but it's gonna be I mean, you probably won't even notice it, right? So I honestly just don't even really think that it's worthwhile, but I think I'm just gonna go like this. You know, I'm really just gonna blast these guys apart, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, I'm not gonna bring in my heavy hitters.
Not a soul. Huh? Sister, what are you doing here?
Come to my rescue? What a good brother you are.
What are you doing?
Ah, there you are, Kashua.
Lancelot.
It's dangerous here. We're leaving the castle. Come with me.
My lord, I thought you were on the field.
Glad to see you still live, Ozma.
Sir Balsaphon awaits you without.
The hour grows late. Take whoever's left and leave the castle.
Kashua!
Leave this one to me. The princess must be kept safe.
The better part of valor is discretion. We leave at once.
You made a mockery of me at Rhyme. A slight I mean to avenge, boy.
Your right eye or your left? Either will suffice, I should think. It would make a fine gift for your sister. A pendant? Perhaps a brooch? How fitting. I'm told you only have eyes for her.
Denim of Goliath. It is a foul turn you've done, my brother.
Twins? Yes. You have his look. Do you share his vulgar nature besides?
I hope you enjoyed that insult. It will be your last.
Alright, that was a pretty good insult, actually. Alrighty. So, you know, ideally, and I'll just make my recommendation. I probably won't actually try to grab an item. Maybe I'll make it. Maybe I'll make sure that Ozma at least drops a bag. I'll just try that once. But ideally, what you want to do is you want to make sure that Ozma doesn't pick up a bag for one thing, right? You don't want to kill something and then have her pick it up, because then when you kill her, she will always pick up a bag, right? If you're trying to get, these drops. Also, you're going to want to take her out and make sure that Oz lives, because if you kill Oz first, when you kill her, the battle is over. So, keep that in mind as well. Which is also why this is not a good level to try to get these drops, right? Having to deal with Oz while dealing with Ozma, not good. Also, he is immune to stun, which means that you can't, use like a paralysis wave on him and get him to stumble on his turn. You're just going to be hit by him every single turn. So again, not a good way to get these items, honestly. But if you do try it, probably, a good idea to bring a dragon or two so that they're, absorbing damage for you. Obviously, you're going to need a healer of some sort. A cleric would be okay. I mean, you can use items, and items are always going to be, items are going to be probably better, but there's also a chance that you run out. Whereas, at least if you're bringing a cleric or two along, you can keep pumping heals out.
I am Saria, leader of the Liberation Front. I demand vengeance for our fallen.
Now there's a woman with flint in her voice and fire in her eyes. 'Twould be a pity to scar such a lovely face. Perhaps I'll cut your feet off at the ankles instead. Wouldn't want you running off before the real fun begins.
You had your chance to kill me, but you let it pass. A fatal mistake.
Well, that's effing messed up, as as is fitting Oz, because the guy is just a crazy person. Okay, yeah, kind of making my way over to the side here. I think that's probably, a decent way to to go about this level. If you're gonna try to farm Oz, right, you really need to make sure that you're getting over to her. Yeah, we'll just kind of take it easy for the first couple of turns here. Getting some mana, which. Obviously if you're,
You do not quail. I like that in a woman. It's not too late, you know. Surrender now, and I will spare your life. House Glacius is an ancient and noble line. As our meanest servant, you would be worth 10 common folk.
If only you fought half as well as you spoke.
On second thought, I'll start by plucking out your tongue.
Okay, crazy fella. Thump.
How it must shame you, Seria, when all who called you friend are dead.
Do you think me a fool? My people were prepared to die. The shame would be in letting their deaths be in vain. I will not rest until you burn in hell.
Okay. Well said. All right. Mind card. It's a little bit too tough to pass up. Alright, now I just gotta be really careful here about, picking up this stuff. I see there's a red card on the ground, too. It's not likely, but, there's always a chance, I suppose, of luring Oz over to that card, and potentially getting him to step on it. Again, not likely, but it's happened. I've made it happen from time to time. Maybe not necessarily on this level, but also maybe this level too. I think on the is it the Law version of this battle, you actually fight Belzephon and Oz, and I think I actually did something very similar where I got Oz to step on a red card. Or maybe it was Belzephon. I can't remember exactly that battle, but I know at some point I did something very similar to that, where I got one of the bosses or one of the Dark Knights to actually step on the red card, wiped out his buffs, and then that made it a lot easier to actually try to get. And I think I got one of Oz's items, so similar to this fight, I think you do fight Oz here, and you can actually get the his drops from him again on that Law Route battle that takes place here. But again, whether or not that was worth it as well is a different question. Here's where it gets a little risky. So I think when I kill one of these two, they're most likely going to drop, and Ozma will probably be able to pick it up. Maybe I'll just end this turn here. Not that, again, I don't know that I'm worried that much, honestly. I'm not going to actually attempt to farm that. I would like to, again, just to get it on camera, but I really just don't want to go through all of the charioting that it's going to take to get a 4% drop. Again, they're basically in the Palace of the Dead, these items you'll be able to farm at a 40% rate. And so it just does not make sense to get the stuff here. I'm gonna try to... I can't push it. Well, whatever. Yeah, not gonna try. I think it's just gonna be too annoying. Ozma's probably gonna step right on this bag too, so like this wouldn't be a good way to kind of go about this. I would have had to probably let that mage live another turn. Also, Ozma can one-shot, characters as well. So, if you are going to try to farm this,
we have something in common after all. A sister whom we would do anything to protect.
Return her to me. and speak no more of what we have in common.
Ah, if only you could hear yourself. Return her to me! Return her to me! Yes, I might beg as you do in your place. I feel a lump in my throat just thinking of it.
Enough, Oz. No wonder you lost at Bode going on like this.
You wound me, sister. Have I not always been devoted entire to you?
I mean, if there's one redeeming quality that Oz has, is that yeah, he says he'll do anything for his sister. Although whether or not that's
what have you
genuine.
done with my father?
What nonsense is this?
The boy is Abuna Prancet's son.
Oh, is that right?
You have Mana Flora. What do you need my father for? Tell me where you've taken him.
You don't know, do you? He lives, yes, but...
What have you done to him?
We only loosened his tongue, so to speak.
You're beasts. All of you.
Yeah. Beast. How dare you. Alright, let's see here. I think I'll just try to get her to drop a bag. I mean, most likely she's not going to drop, you know, the items that I want, but...
We must buy time for the High Champion and Balsaphon to escape the castle.
Also, now that I'm thinking about it, the first time that I did this, right, I think the time that I did this battle on Law, and again, I'm pretty sure you're fighting Balsaphon and Oz together. In that battle, if you kill too many of the Templars, that basically they'll retreat. And that's a problem if you're trying to get the drop. So it may be the case with this battle as well. If you kill too many, they may, you know, there may be some issues there.
Oz! Uphold the honor of our house.
Ozma! Ozma! You killed her! You! I will revel in your death!
No, you won't. So I'm gonna chariot that. Again, I want to make sure that I'm at least... Oh, how appropriate. I had Obram... Well, maybe not appropriate. I had Obram actually take her out. Alright, so I'll just keep charioting until I at least see a bag. And then I'll kind of just go with it, you know, with whatever I get. I'm sure it won't be it might most likely won't be an actual drop that I want, but actually let's try up here. So this is the next spot. Oh, dropped her down. There's a bag. All right. Well, we'll go with that. Again, it most likely won't be an actual drop. It'll be some junk crap, but I'm ready to continue on. I guess I might as well just kill off Oz now. No sense in taking down these other troops. Oh, brutal. Get those crits.
Sister, death embraces me.
Oop, Oz dropped the bag too. That's also one of those deals where if you wanted to try to get a drop from Oz as well, you'd have to do a quick save and then, navigate to your saves folder and all that crap, and I just don't think it's worth it. Yeah, and then, of course, neither of those two dropped any of the drops that I wanted to see, but that's alright. Again, I just don't think that it's really worth it. It's just going to take too much time to try to get, and it's going to be obviously already very, very difficult to make sure that happens if this is the first time you're playing through the game. So again, I just don't really think it's worth it. But, alright.
Why did she go with them? What could she be thinking?
and death shall redeem thee of thy worldly sins, even as it washes clean thine eternal soul.
Let me go! Please, don't kill me!
Kneel, child. Pray to the Great Father.
Neil, what have I done? Why are you doing this?
Great Father Philaha, forgive the sins of this, your child.
Please, no! Call Branton! He'll tell you! I did as he ordered. No more! Please! I don't want to die! Denham! Denham!
It was 2 days before I learned of the execution.
The buckram reeled as rumor after rumor flooded in, following the fall of Phidoch Castle. The leader of their enemy, a youth scarce old enough to shave, their owner Boona Branton, a man unworthy of their trust. The Dark Knights routed. But above all else, the news that King Dorgalawa's daughter still lived. In their desperation, the people wept. They yearned for a righteous leader, a savior to bring them prosperity. The Lady Kashua was the answer to their prayers. Lancelot Tartaros, mouthpiece of the Holy Lodician Empire, recognized Kashua as the rightful heir to the Valerian throne. The quarrel over succession was officially laid to rest. By Lancelot's accounting, this prior unrest, as he named it, stemmed not from a deep-rooted divide between clans, but instead from the misdeeds of a handful of power-hungry men. The history books would speak of no great Valerian war. Yet only the landed and the nobility paid any service to Lancelot's tale. For those who resented the ascendancy of the buckram, words made a poor salve. While the lie of the battlefield had changed, the war raged on. What had once been seen as a clash of clans became a rift between rulers and the ruled, a struggle to break free from the yoke of oppression.
You still live. Leave us. Can you hear that, Knight of Zenobia?
It is only a matter of time before you fall.
Who rules in Valeria is a trifling matter. You of all people must understand this.
Let me guess. Unable to stem the tide that rises from the hamlets and villages?
Perhaps we ask too much of the buckram soldiers. They're not the soldiers we are, you know. Or the men.
Always binding people to your will. fettering them lest they show signs of free thought. Perhaps therein lies your problem.
They ask for a stern hand to rule them.
They ask? You're mad.
You have it wrong. It is the world that is mad. Tell me, how many of these peasants would even lift a hand to better their lot were they given a chance? How many would bloody their hands, risk their necks, walk without leaning upon another? How many would dare to fight? Think back to your own uprising. Where were the people for whom you shed blood? Safe at their hearths, grousing that more was not done for them.
Times were hard. It was all they could do to keep themselves fed.
Nonsense! They chose to be victims. They think that only from without the castle walls may one voice discontent, not realizing that the quickest way to the throne is a knife to the king's ribs.
These people have the right to live out their own lives, not fill some part in a play of your design.
You have both your eyes, and yet you see less clearly than I do. True freedom is not granted from above, it is won from below. And yet the commons look without for a savior, even as they claim sovereignty over their own fate. They wait, and they wait for their savior, never taking that first step towards saving themselves.
Man is not so slothful a creature as that. They merely lack our strength.
You are much too pure of heart, Holy Knight. The people have no need of dreams. We give them all they need.
And what is that, pray tell?
A strong, unwavering ruler.
You are mad.
All men are born with a terrible burden upon their hearts. This insatiable yearning for pleasure. They do not hesitate to take the lives of others if it will better their own. And yet, even these base creatures can know guilt. So, what do? They turn it around. This is not my fault, man says. The world has failed me. Someone must bring order to this chaos. If the commons want to pursue their pleasure, let them do it in our service, under our rule.
You call this rule? This trampling underfoot of all who disagree with you?
We trample no one. All we do is reach beneath the suppurating flesh of this world and wrench out the source of its ailment.
No. As the body strives to mend itself, so does the heart. These people you so despise may one day astonish you with their valor.
You have far too much faith in the creature called man, Knight. People are drawn to power, drawn towards safety. They will betray even their most beloved to obtain it. Kashua, come.
Kashua, what are you doing here?
Allow me to introduce to you your liege, Knight. For this girl is none other than a gift left us by Dynast King Dogalua, the Princess Versalia, rightful ruler of Valeria.
What?
Well, as you say, the Bakram are not long for this world. But, with the princess in our hands, Valeria will beg to serve under Lodis.
Kashua, how? Is this true?
I loved Denim. As my brother, I loved him. But he was no brother to me. He abandoned me. And now, I him.
Kashua!
Though it pains me to part with the man who took my eye, I see no need to further torment the vanquished. Farewell.
Wait!
Farewell, Knight of Zenobia.
The princess has not been seen since the ceremony. Not even the officers among the Bakram know her whereabouts, and the regent has lent his spies to the search. I see no other explanation but that the princess has sided with the Dark Knights.
Then the rift between Branton and Tartaros widens. What word of the Dark Knights?
Most remain garrisoned in Haim, but many of their commanders, including Tartaros, are conspicuously absent.
Perhaps this is why the Bakram do not move against us. What could they be scheming?
You asked me to search for the Holy Knight of Zenobia.
Yes. Have you heard something?
A confession wrung from a scullery maid. It seems that the Holy Knight languishes in the dungeon below Haim Castle.
So he lives?
Yes, but under such a guard that not even the Bakram are allowed near. I was unable to mark him with my own eyes.
Still, you have done much. Go, rest.
By your leave, Commander.
Kashua.
Commander, should we not move our forces on Haim?
Not as yet. It would be rash indeed to strike without first knowing the Dark Knight's purpose.
Yes, but the more time that passes before we strike, the weaker we become. Have you forgotten the way the men speak of the princess? Soldiers in your own ranks weep aloud at the thought of lifting a sword against Orgalawa's blood.
I know. All the more reason to not act in haste.
A report, sir.
What is it?
The soldiers at Brigantis have taken hostages and holed up inside the castle.
What's this?
What are their demands?
Our surrender to the Bakram, sir.
After all the fighting we've been through? Not bloody likely.
So the Order of Phidoch joins the fray. Their followers among the soldiers were many, were they not?
Aye, and their influence has only grown since the princess's appearance.
Not a situation we are like to change. The princess's arrival was, for many, the advent of a savior. Add to this the fact that the late Dynast King was a fervent follower of Phidoch. How natural for these new converts to rekindle his cry for accord and seek to abandon the fight.
What will you do?
I see no other choice but to meet with these followers of Phidoch and speak with them.
Out of the question. It's too dangerous, Commander.
Not if I go alone and unarmed. They will hear me out.
Okay, that is going to be it for this one. So as always, I hope the guide was helpful, and thank you for watching.